Explain the
Everyone loves the toilets,
situation.
Huh? Yeah. Well, these ones, everything has to come out of Antarctica. So each single poo costs us $5.60. So guys, welcome to Echo.
What was involved in figuring out how to pull all this together?
What we wanted was something that was like super connected to the wilderness. So the whole inspiration was Buzz Aldrin saying this place looked like the surface of the moon, and we're like trying to build something that was a far more lunar camp. We went for hyper-modern big windows, as if you're in a spaceship.
Right.
Because this landscape is so otherworldly, it kind of gives you this idea you're off-planet. So we thought a spaceship style would be where we want to go with it.
And you have them all on sleds.
Yeah. Well, we have to have them on sleds because if you put anything on the ground in Antarctica, the wind creates so much snow accumulation that it gets buried in a storm, like almost immediately. So if you have it on a sled, the wind passes underneath and you don't get buried.
Ah.
So everything's kind of functional, but there's quite a lot of aesthetic that went into it too. So out here we're building a whole sauna. So this would be a whole area where you can then go and sauna, come back in, and then into the washrooms. And then here, I saw in a boat somewhere these showers where you had the whole way through. So it's hilarious. So you shower, but you've got glass here. But because it's obviously bright outside and dark inside, you can't see in. But then everybody's showering and you suddenly see, whoa, like this as the guy in the skidoo just comes past. But again, like the idea that you're showering, but you're kind of almost outside.
All right, so explain the
Everyone loves the toilets,
situation.
Huh? Yeah. Well, these ones, everything has to come out of Antarctica. So these ones basically vacuum seal the human waste. So you press a button and it machine wraps it up, and then it all gets stored and we take it out of Antarctica and dispose of it. But here's a fact for you: each single poo costs us $5.60.
How does that work?
By the time you got the foil, brought it into Antarctica, done, then shipped it all out, disposed of it responsibly, $5.60
Wow.
per flush.
But you have
I should have like an honesty jar next to it, so you know.
But there's one for...
One for pee, one for number twos. Yeah.
Takes a second to eat, you should.
Everything takes a second in Antarctica. Yeah.
How long has Echo been around now?
This is its third year.
Okay.
Third year. Yeah. I just had this sort of idea, I wanted to build a camp. And it was like, well, can we do something better than just normal little mountain tents? So that's where we went off to St. Petersburg, where we found guys that could build these bespoke tents. And it sort of started from there.
And the complications that are created from everything being bespoke is what?
Huge. Like here, we're working with panels that are bent this way and this way. So everything gets complicated. These blinds, because these are obviously shades, well, the boiling sun comes through and it's minus 14 on the outside and it's like plus 50, 60 on the interior. So these then plastics start melting and warping and expanding. So all these different elements, and then everything here is incredibly expensive to get out here, to then install it. It takes so much longer to install here. So when you make a mistake, it takes so much longer to fix it. There's all these incredible design challenges that go into it.
Because you have to pack it out.
Pack it up. And then it's got to survive the winter as well. So then this thing, we latch it down to the ice and then we leave and we don't see it for 8-9 months.
Does it typically survive?
Well, I mean, in the early days, we lost a couple of pods in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, like they literally, like Dorothy from Kansas, off into the air, and we spent about 2 years cleaning up the mess. Didn't find a wicked witch. But, you know, it was, yeah, we made mistakes.
What
On the canopy.
are you making here?
Course here. This is it's going to be truffle with mushrooms. This is a shortbread flavored with thyme, and then we're going to get a walnut thyme on top of that. And that will be a canapé for today.
Really good.
How does this differ from the freezer you used to have out here?
So you'd be surprised that we're in Antarctica and this is, you do need a freezer. So the freezer I used to have used to be just over the hill there, a bank of snow. So every day I'd dig graves that would fill all of these boxes, but it got to a point where one morning I woke up and the entire food had slid down the hill. Yeah, and it was just a mass retrieval by the whole camp. And the menu is designed out, obviously, you have the freshes, and then you choose the menu on what the freshes are looking saddest first. And that's kind of how the menus are created. And there's bits in here like, you know, we've got raw, you know, some lovely beautiful raw sirloin steaks, some chicken breasts that I got out earlier just to cook with. And we create a good bank of food, obviously, because flights can get delayed, could be bad weather.
Explain how long you work on the runway for in advance of each flight.
It's depending on the condition of the runway and if there's snow, about anywhere between 12 hours and 24 hours.
Every single patch of the runway, if you don't go over it and do a pass with the piston bully, which is a big machine, will turn back to blue ice.
Yeah.
In which case, that's super dangerous. So you've got to kind of inspect the runway, and that's why we do so many braking tests, is because we inspect each quadrant of the runway. Okay, let's do it. Let's go. You just shout out the numbers when we hit 50, we brake, skid. Okay, now.
40.4.
0.4, that's
Yeah,
awesome. We're basically the equivalent of like JFK on a wet day. So this runway is like a pilot's dream at the moment. The real heroes are actually the guys that make the runway. The pilots kind of get all the glory and they got the wings and the whole thing. But actually landing on this when Ryan gets it right, like today is going to be perfect. There's going to be no wind, it's cold, the friction's amazing. The pilot's got the easiest job in the world.
That's super cool.
That's all you got?